Good morning, everyone. Lola Dart here. It is Sunday morning. I've been awake for about an hour and I'm meeting some friends for a birthday brunch in about an hour and a half. So I'm going to take this time to MINTOA my week. Last week I had about 24 hours to myself and I used the time to reset, recharge, get everything going for the week. I just accomplished a lot in that one day and I posted about it. One of my good friends commented and said, "Show me your ways." So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to walk through how I MINTOA my week. The M in MINTOA is for motivation, and it's really about how do you want to feel? What's your real goal at the end of the week? This morning, I ate a banana on the couch for my 5 minutes of meditation and thought about how I want to feel. And really, it's healthy for me this week. I got a couple colds back to back the past few weeks. I had food poisoning last week, and this week, I just want to feel healthy. I in MINTOA is for infrastructure. And what that piece is all the time of your week. How is the time of your week going to look? What do you have to do? What I'm going to do now is share my screen and show you how I build out the infrastructure of my week. The first things I put on my calendar are my personal appointments that I cannot miss. In this case, the brunch and my daughter's doctor appointment. She starts swim lessons this week, which is really exciting. I have a community of foster and adoptive parents that I'm a part of that has a meeting Tuesday night and dinner with family on Thursday night. I know that there is an amazing yoga class at the Y that I love to take on Saturdays, so I'm going to go ahead and put a yoga class in there. And that usually lasts until 11:30. The next thing I add to my infrastructure are all of the client meetings that I have throughout the day. You see them now here, magically. I like to add to my calendar that has all of my calendar meetings, and I can just instantly add them in here. There's lots of functionality with Google Calendars where you can change the views so you can see a calendar or not see a calendar. Most of these are client meetings. I also have a huge presentation on Wednesday afternoon for a client, and I also remembered I have lunch with a friend that was on my work calendar because she is a work friend. But it is a personal fun lunch. The next thing, once I have all of my scheduled appointments in, is to really think about the infrastructure of my days as a whole. And what I mean by that is, what are your days going to look like? And maybe you're someone who wants every day to look the same, and maybe you're someone who wants every day to look different, and that's okay. But what are the blocks of time you're going to spend on different things? For me, the childcare provider that I use is open from 7 to 5:30, which is 10 and a half hours, and I like to work 9 hours a day. So typically I work 7:30 to 5 with a half-hour lunch, and that gives me all of my work hours. However, this week, with my focus on being healthy, I really want to slide in at least 2 exercise classes during the week. So what that may mean for me is that I exercise on my lunch break, or I may take an exercise class in the morning or at night. So what I'm going to do now is pause and look at the exercise schedule at the Y and see what classes I want to take that fit in my infrastructure. I was able to find a couple of classes that will work for me. I changed my Saturday class to this orange color because, again, my focus this week is on health, so that was already there. I found a Zumba class on Friday at 6 o'clock, and the Y provides childcare, so that's excellent. There's a fantastic yin yoga class that I like to go to in town, and often my father will have my daughter on Wednesday nights, so I will ask him if he can do that this week so I can take that class. And on Tuesday morning, I am going to take an hour before work and do some longevity yoga. And that's in the childcare hours. So again, when I'm talking about that infrastructure, it's thinking what works for your schedule and also what works for your other needs. For example, in my case this week, having childcare while I do these classes. Now that I have everything scheduled in that has to happen, what I'm going to do is throw in some blockers, which are things that I know need to happen. Now, when I say things that need to happen, what I really mean is transportation for these things. So in the morning, I'm going to do the drop off from 7 to 7:30. At night, I'll do the pickup from 5 to 5:30. It's little things. Picking her up only takes 15 minutes, but if I don't block out the time to do that, I run the risk of scheduling something over that. And if I schedule over it, I won't be able to get everything done. So even if it only takes me 15 or 30 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my calendar. I'm going to actually extend those times on Thursday, only this one, and then again on Friday, only this one, because we're actually going to be in the car for longer. I'm going to pick her up and then do something else on Thursday and on Friday with her. The other thing that I added into my schedule is lunch, because as you can see by my client meetings, particularly on Mondays and Wednesdays, if I don't schedule in lunch, it truly may not happen. The next step for me, now that everything is here, is to build out time that I am going to work on things. I like to give my company, Live and Learn with Lola, 4 hours a week, and I give my clients 40 hours a week. So 10% of that time I spend on just my company. I like to do that first thing in the morning. Many of you know my philosophy that I like to follow is what you do first gets the most importance in your life. So I'm going to schedule the 4 hours to be first thing in the morning, Monday through Friday. Now that I have those scheduled in, I am going to actually block out all of my other work time on the other days. And the reason that's so important for infrastructure is to figure out how many hours this week are you really going to have to just get things done. And the reason that's important is so that you can figure out what you're going to get done. So I'm going to block out the rest of my work hours now. All right, I have now added in my work blocks, my work time for clients, and I've also here on Friday afternoon, the last hour of my work week, I spend doing MINTOA. The O and A of MINTOA is observations and accomplishments, and that's best done at the end of the week. I also spend time gathering the N of my client time at the end of the week. Now, N is Notepad, and that's what we'll move into next. So again, I as infrastructure, for me, it actually does take the most time to plan out my week. You saw how I do it in those steps. Now let's switch gears and see how I do N, which again is Notepad. What you see here is my MINTOA for all of my client time. And along the left, you see the hierarchy, motivation, infrastructure, and Notepad. Now this Notepad has every task I have ever said and committed to a client that I'm going to do. I have weekly ongoing projects, I have different pieces, and every single one of these sections, again, has every single team and every single commitment. It is also prioritized, and that Friday hour at the end of every week, I reprioritize. You see here, there's something at the top and then a break. That's because this is what I would like to commit to for the week, and you see that in the different sections. Again, here's the break. So it's prioritized, and what I would really like to accomplish in the coming week is above that little break. And this is what works for me. This may not be the way you do it, and that's okay. Just having a way is what's really, really great. Again, the most structured time I spend is my time for my clients, and that is why this MINTOA is really, really detailed. Once I have the actual notepad of things, T is for timeline. And timeline means when are you going to do all of the things you've committed to in your notepad? And I build out the timeline of my notepad every week. You can see here we're in the week of May 8th, and I knew what my work blocks would roughly be on Friday afternoon, and I actually had already scheduled that out. So you see the week of May 8th, you see each day and the notepad of what I'm committed to doing every single day during the week. And I am a very checklist kind of girl, so I actually print this out every Friday and I use it as a physical checklist during my work block times. This is my overall MINTOA mentality for my life. I also print this one out every week, again, to use it as a checklist. And what you see here actually does not change week to week. So every week I have broken out the day of the week and what I like to do for self-care, wash my hair, manicure, pedicure, pluck my eyebrows, cleaning. I break down my cleaning tasks into about 15 to 30 minutes every morning. And then same thing with just like the daily office things. So on Monday mornings, I will clear any MINTOA notes I've made for myself in this document, and I will also plan out what I want to do during the week. I typically save most big projects for the weekends, and the way I do that is by spending 15 to 30 minutes every single morning on cleaning and just household office stuff. For example, getting and sorting the mail, filing paperwork, and doing the things that come in the mail, such as paying bills and making bill plans. And then clearing all my phone notes and clearing off my desktop is something I do every week that just really helps me keep my mind clear. Then on the weekends, I need to make time for laundry, vacuuming, which I can't do during the week because my cleaning and office time I actually schedule before my daughter wakes up. So all three of these things this week are going to happen between 5 and 6 in the morning. Again, I'll give about 15 to 30 minutes for each of these things, so it'll take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half. And then I will wake my daughter up at 6. We spend about an hour together from 6 to 7, and then I take her to school. So this is just a standing thing I print out every week and use as a checklist. So there you have it. That is how I MINTOA my week. I spend about an hour on Friday afternoons and then again about a half hour either on Sunday or on Monday morning. And I know everything I'm going to do during the week ahead. I love it. It helps me attack everything with a clear head. I have a plan. I know what I'm doing. And most importantly, I am purposefully productive.